It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. It's another Monday, July 7th. After a long, much needed weekend. Did everyone have a phenomenal weekend? I hope everyone did. We enjoyed our long 3-day weekend here in Los Angeles. Before we get into the show, we have to talk about Texas. Um, I'm actually going to take a moment to talk about Texas after I do my official introduction. So just you wait. This has been heavily on my mind. I can't not take a moment in the show to talk about what's happening over there. Um I can't stop thinking about it. You can't be well, I think you can't be a human being and not think about the tragedy unfolding in Texas right now. But shockingly, a lot of people don't have a heart. This is what we've discovered in the world. However, we will talk about all of it. I know a lot of you guys that are here in the community, in the doser community, are from Texas. And I know that dosers have hearts and we care. So I'm putting together a list of all kinds of places that you guys can donate to. And I'm going to put it up on my Instagram a little bit later and in the Facebook group. We'll talk about it all. But we've got breaking news. Denise Richards, a divorce. Her husband just filed for divorce. This is 5 seconds before I started my show from Aliza Rosen. Shout out. She sent me the DM 2 seconds before the show started. We have a Love Island cast member getting canceled for a former Asian slur that she said on her Instagram stories years ago, and she got removed from the show overnight. And this is the second cast member that got removed. Then we're going to talk about Karen Reed and all of the updates over the weekend, including Turtle Boy is currently right now as we speak in court. So I'm going to update you guys on that. And then the most rage baiting article that you've ever heard in your entire life, an op-ed on the New York Times came out by one of the most annoying. I can't. Okay, everyone calm down. Everything's going to be okay. We are all together. We can get through this together. We're all in this together. Everyone, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. We really have got to stick together through these challenging, tough times. Everyone, it is your daily dose of Donna. Okay, thank you so much, everyone that has been here. I'm just so happy to know that everyone is supporting the show. Yes, we're going to talk about all the breaking news in a moment. I will say, how could you not just have spent time just praying and crying and just devastated over Mother Nature and what kind of just devastation it created this weekend in Texas. So, for those of you that are either in Texas, in the area of the Guadalupe River, I have personal friends who have been affected. One of my girlfriends, I don't want to just call her out because I don't know if she's okay with that, but her cousins' kids were those boys that were interviewed, those first two little boys that were interviewed as campers who escaped the floods. So many of you guys are in my DM saying, that's my kids' camp. Those are my kids' friends. That's my neighborhood. That's my community. I love Texas. I love, um, you know, these are just kids. These are camp kids. I also know that so many other people their communities have just been torn apart. So many people that weren't just in the camp, their homes, think about the animals, their homes, just lives just taken. And it happened so fast. It's not time to blame. It's not. However, there's going to be blame, of course, as you know, here in Los Angeles with the fires. Of course, people mess up. People make mistakes and something went wrong. There was alerts didn't go out. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this moment. That there will be time here in Los Angeles for the fires. There was crazy damage, but the lives lost did not hit where this is. This is like an insane amount of lives lost, and so many children's lives lost. So we will have to, I don't know. I can't even fathom. I'm packing my kids up for camp, for sleepaway camp right now. They're leaving next week. This is a parent's worst nightmare. These little sweet, sweet girls. The fact that they were so young and they were um, the lowest by the river. And I just can't imagine the terror. It's truly the worst thing I've ever uh, fathomed for a group of young children and their families that are just at home, not having the answers yet. The searches are still continuing. It is devastating. I know that Bethany Frankel and her Be Strong Foundation is putting together their donations, but there's so many other specific hill country, that's the area in Texas, that is gathering donations. And I'm getting so many great DMs from people saying, like, this is a really good list. I got a DM from someone. I mean, so many of you guys are sending me, and I asked for a list, but specifically Purely Pam, for example, she just sent me a DM of Kerr County Flood Relief Fund is a good one. Texar is search and rescue support. Grape Juice Kerrville, Southern Oaks Church Flood Relief, Hands Off Central Texas. There's a bunch of different GoFundMe's that this one account is putting together. So I just really want the money to go to like a very specific local places. I think that that's where it helped when I was collecting money for the fires. I found that was the best way, is getting the money in local places. And because I was so close to the fires here in Los Angeles, I had that ability to do that, to collect money and then to distribute locally. So I don't have that ability. So that's why I'm not collecting any money from anyone. I'm just gonna give you guys some names, and then hopefully everyone can. But I would just never, ever, ever donate to the Red Cross. And Nikki agrees, and I will never donate to the Red Cross. I have heard way too many things. Thank you so much, you guys. You're all amazing people. Let's move on to talk about some other things, because we cannot just sit here. We have to move on and talk about pop culture, entertainment, because we have to distract ourselves. But yes, let's keep Texas in our minds. Okay. Where do we start? Denise Richards. This is breaking news. Denise Richards' husband, Aaron with the big peepee. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that's actually the only thing I can think of when I think of him. That's like his thing. Denise Richards' husband has filed for divorce. Let me pull up the article. Look, I think it's time that I tell you guys my stories about Denise Richards. I mean, bless her. Because I think that there's some good stuff about Denise Richards. I think there's some good stuff. Like, she seems like a loving person. She has adopted a daughter who is special needs, and she seems like she loves her very much. She's very loving with animals, right? She takes very good care of animals. I'm telling you this I can't say firsthand, secondhand, because I've never actually spent time with Denise Richards. Secondhand, someone in my very close inner circle has worked with her, very close, and has told me the most wackadoodle stories you have ever heard. So I'll just keep saying it's alleged. Allegedly has told me that this is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs situation, okay? Not to say that this is the reason, because I also think Mr. Aaron here has crazy stuff going on. We'll talk about it in just a second. But TMZ says Denise Richards and her husband, Aaron Pfeiffer's, are getting a divorce. According to documents, Aaron filed for divorce today. He lists the usual irreconcilable differences and says the date of separation is on Friday, July 4th. I mean, not on America's birthday. The now former couple had been married for 6 years, and they, of course, share no children. And of course, he's seeking spousal support. Of course he is. I can't with this loser. I already don't like him. Now, I will tell you something other than the fact that the reason why I brought up his schlong is because do you guys remember all of that about his member down there? It was like a very big part of him. That's what she said, but like it really was. Everyone had always talked about his penis. And I feel like Andy Cohen, the way that I'm talking about it, but like it was like a big part of his story. Like I don't mean to keep saying big, but like it was. Um, Even Denise talked about it on the after show. There is a whole thing about it. Look here. Denise Richards reveals husband Aaron Pfeiffer's reaction to her NSFW not safe for work comment about his big penis. Like this was a thing. So, yeah, she talked about it on the March 12th episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She said during dinner that she never took an effing ruler to Pfeiffer's nether region, but revealed he has a big penis. So she said he had the biggest penis she had ever been with. I mean, poor Charlie Sheen. So Jewelry Girl says house schlong to divorce. But I think you really need to mix in the Karen Reed story and say house schlong to divorce, right? That's what we got to do. Now, another story about Aaron, and let's try to find the whole thing. Aaron Pfeiffer he's not a very nice player. There's some stuff going on. I want to remind you guys exactly what's happening, and I guarantee you this is part of the story. Aaron Pfeiffer was sued for alleged fraud, okay, involving treatment at his Malibu Wellness Center. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting turn, and I wonder if this has a lot to do with it. So he was sued on November 13th. Go away ads. November 13th, 2024 for alleged breach of I'm sorry, I got lost. Oral contract and fraud. Sorry, I was like, a breach of what? Oral contract. Aaron Pfeiffer's is being sued for alleged fraud and breach of oral contract. It says he is accused of violating a verbal agreement regarding treatment at his Malibu Wellness Center. Rupert Perry is suing Pfeiffer's on behalf of his late wife, Alina Cacciola Beal, who Pfeiffer saw at his center for her cancer in 2023. Cacciola Beal had been diagnosed with sarcoma in 2019 and learned about a stem cell treatment for her cancer that was offered at Pfeiffer's facility. In the documents obtained by People, Perry alleges that Pfeiffer said the treatment would cure or at least ameliorate her condition. It continues that he claimed that the treatment had a 98% success rate, and he was so confident in it that if it did not work, he would refund to Miss Beal and Mr. Perry 50% of the money that they gave him for the treatment. So basically, he promised her, like, I'm going to be able to treat your cancer, and if it doesn't fully go away, I'll be able to give you 50% that you give me for the treatment. They gave him $126,000 between July and September. And months later in December, he claims his wife was told her tumors had expanded by 25%. That's wild. So it's stem cell treatment. And we have to really do a deep dive now on Pfeiffer's. Okay, I'm sorry. Listen, I don't have, knock on wood, I've never ever dealt with cancer in my own body. But I am personally someone that when someone near me or in my life, if they ever have cancer, like go to an oncologist and get chemotherapy and radiation and get treatment, like traditional cancer treatment. Because every single time you hear these stories, and I'm not saying it's 100% this case, but most of the times that you hear these stories, like just the other day, didn't we hear the story about what was her name? She used to be an MTV VJ. Now I can't remember her name. The story just came out like 2 weeks ago. She was this beautiful MTV VJ who just passed for breast cancer. Ananda Lewis. Am I saying it right? Amanda or Ananda Lewis? Yes, Ananda Lewis. So she passed for breast cancer, and the story was that it was she had been diagnosed like around COVID or something, and she didn't go and get regular cancer treatment. She ended up going and getting some sort of like a holistic treatment. And I feel like that is an issue. Now, I don't want to judge people for doing what they want to do, but there you go. So her tumors expanded, and they wrote Pfeiffer to let him know and request their money back. Hey, your treatment didn't work. Can I take you back on your offer? Now, the problem here is, without knowing anything, it was a verbal contract. Not smart. If you're talking about $100,000, you probably want to get that in writing, buddy. Okay, anyway, he ignored their request and instead proposed that she undergo another round of treatment, going on to claim their future request for the money on February, March, and then again March, all went ignored. On May 21st, she succumbed and died. Oh, the next year. Oh, no, that was that year. Oh, my gosh. So then she dies. And on June 28th, he speaks with Pfeiffer's by telephone, who acknowledged the debt but proffered a series of excuses for his failure to pay the $63,000. I hope this was all recorded. Well, given that her cancer only worsened, Perry says her estate is entitled to the reimbursement Pfeiffer's promised as a condition of the treatment. His aforementioned misconduct was intentional, willful, and done for the purpose of depriving plaintiff of property and or legal rights. He has not yet filed a response to the lawsuit and is unclear of the wellness center called Quantum 360 is still in business. Okay, well, obviously now we're doing a Google search on Quantum 360. Quantum 360. 5,000 followers on Quantum 360. What is Quantum 360? Well, there's not really much activity because they're not posting a lot. This is March 3rd, 2020. This is April 23rd. Great. That's him talking to Luke Story. The last time they posted was a year and a half ago. So is it just like not a thing? Let's go to the website. Uh-oh. The site can't provide a secure connection. You know that's a bad sign. Well, I'll tell you, I don't think, are they getting a divorce because of Aaron Pfeiffer's connection to this drama? I don't know. He filed for divorce. So there's a million reasons they could be getting a divorce, but I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing that he's leaving her. I think she has a bad picker. I think he's shady McShady. What else happened with them? They also had some weird stuff. Remember, like they got into a road rage accident and like they got shot at? Am I just making it up? I feel like I'm making that up. Maybe? I feel like, but I just think Aaron Pfeiffer is bad news. Oh my God. I don't even want to tell you what my Google search history is. If either the police ever have to look at my computer, I'm so screwed. Because like my Google search history for the show is nuts. My last two searches is Aaron Pfeiffer's bad news and Aaron Pfeiffer's penis. Like it's just bad news. Either Lance or the police are going to think I'm up to something bad. Yes, they got shot at on Jeff Lewis. I remember this. This was like 2 years ago when I used to listen to Jeff Lewis. I remember when she was a guest and she said that he picked her up from a set or was driving her to set one day. That was another thing. He always was with her. Always was with her. Went everywhere with her. And they went to set and like they got shot at. Weird. Do you think that was intentional? Oh yeah, this is another thing on my Google search always. Why are you searching clitoral so often, Donna Bowling? I I just think that he's got some weird stuff. I do think he's definitely there's gonna be more that comes out. Now, obviously, she's got also a lot of other stuff going on. She has her daughters. Have you seen the drama lately between her daughters? So obviously she has 3 kids. She has Sammy and Lola, who are 2 daughters with Charlie Sheen. They're I don't know the exact ages. I want to say Lola is still in her teens and Sammy's in her 20s. Sammy is the one that is on OnlyFans as well, and he's older. And then the younger one is now I don't remember her name, but the youngest one is the one that lives with her, Eloise. I think it's Eloise. And she lives with them and she's a teen and she is, or like early teens. And she is the one that is special needs. So she really needs some extra help. And Lola, who's the middle child, seems very, very kind and sweet. And the reality show that they were on showed that a lot more. Well, Sammy, the older one, has started to really go off on her social media and really talk a lot of crap and whatever. So there's all this like infighting in that family. Plus, you have your ex husband who's Charlie Sheen. Like, there's a lot going on over there. Plus, she wears her jackets upside down. Never ever forget Denise Richards wearing her jacket upside down. That was a moment that we'll never forget. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on the Denise Richards divorce, and everyone's sending it to me. Like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I mean, what are my thoughts? I think Denise Richards is wackadoo. I think she's exactly, Billy says, her life is chaotic. I think she cannot get her life together. I think she's honestly, and like I said, allegedly, she cannot control her life. I think she's spinning 5 million plates in the air and not one of them is like spinning correctly. Like every plate that she's spinning is on fire. You know what I mean? Like none of it is in control. And I think when her dad was alive and she had that original show, Denise Richards, I think he kept her like grounded and he kept her sane and he kept her on it. But I think that as she, now is in control of her own life, I don't know. I just feel like she is. And trust me, the person that I know was in her home all the time. So she got like front row seats to the chaos. And there was a lot of it. Trust me. Now, oh my God, I got so triggered this morning. Where do I go? I'm gonna go into there's so many things. Where do I even go? I have so many things. Like, do I just like open up about my honest feelings about everything today? Do we just like open up the closet? Do I come out of the closet today? I feel like I should because there's so many things that have upset me today or last night today. So, well, first of all, before we get into all the drams, I will say, we have to talk about my sponsors this week. I've got 2 sponsors this week. They're both new, and I am so freaking excited about it. The first one is a brand new one that is so up my alley, and I'm telling you, I'm all about it. I'm all about it, and I am really, really excited about this, okay? So the first one is a company named Function. Okay. Function is a health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to actually take action. Inside Function, and this is so cool. I am really excited about it. You can test over 160 biomarkers from heart and hormones to toxins, inflammation, and stress. You can access multi-region MRI and CT scans all tracked in one secure place over time. So it's like a 360 view to see what's happening in your body. So that's why top health leaders, like all of them, like Andrew Huberman and Mark Hyman and all of them all use companies like Function Health. So it's really, really cool. Biomarkers are all these things. So they can impact your skin more than your skincare routine, for example. Think about like breakouts, dullness, dryness, redness. They're not just surface issues. It's all about what happens inside of your body. So Function is the first health membership that gives you access to all these biomarkers across the whole body, your hormones, metabolism, inflammation, heart, liver, hormones, more, etc. And it can teach you like your vitamin D levels, your zinc, iron, vitamin A, estradiol. I say that wrong. Testosterone, glucose, insulin, all of that. So if your health is off, etc., your skin can show it, etc. So the coolest part about it is that if you use a company like Function, you can get all your lab tests for $365, where they do everything, top to bottom, all of the markers, and then you have access to learn everything. So all you have to do is go to functionhealth.com and use the code Donna. Go to functionhealth.com/Donna, DANA, between July 7th, it's just this week, July 7th to July 11th, and you'll get 160 plus lab tests for $365. This is an insane deal. I'm telling you, I've tried all these like things, and this is an amazing deal. So try to go to Function Health. Tomorrow I'll show you the website. I'll just give you guys a heads up to try and check it out, but functionhealth.com and use functionhealth.com/Donna, DANA. And then you can get like a head start on your health. Okay, thank you, Function. I'm in it. Like I am all about it, and I'm in it because I'm going to look really young. Like I'm Death Becomes Her. In 2 years, I'm going to look 20. Just wait. Let's get into it. The first thing that really, really triggered me and pissed me off last night is, where do I start? Well, I talk about it on Patreon. I go really into it on Patreon, but if you go into my Instagram stories, I start and talk about it. Okay. So on my Instagram stories last night, I call out hypocrisy. I don't like hypocrisy. Okay. I've been hypocritical in my life. Of course we have. Absolutely. I have been hypocritical. If you think I'm hypocritical, please tell me. I will absolutely recognize it if I think I am, and I will take accountability. I believe in taking accountability if I say something wrong and if I do something wrong, and I will recognize it. I believe that. So let's talk about Love Island, first of all. Let's talk about what's happening on Love Island right now. There's a cast member, Sierra Ortega, who got released from Love Island. This is 2 cast members now who have been released off Love Island. You guys, 2 this season for using racial slurs in the past before the show started. What's going on over there on Love Island? What's going on with the world that all these people are using these racial slurs before they start filming a show? Like, do we need to figure this out? What's happening with the world that all these people are just comfortable using racial slurs on their Instagram stories day in and day out? So the first one was Yulissa, and I need to see exactly what happened with Yulissa. I can't remember because I don't watch this season, but apparently she used the N-word, I want to say. She used the N-word. Oh, I guess she finally shares the story. 2 days ago, she shared the story. So she was on the show for like 1 day, right? And then old podcast clips Old podcast clips emerged on Reddit after being on the show for like 2 days, showing Yulissa using the N-word while talking about her ex-boyfriends. Now that to me, it's pretty shitty. More than pretty shitty. It's horrible. You're not supposed to use the N-word. Sorry, unless you are, I mean, I don't even know what is appropriate anymore. I'm just going to say, don't use the N-word. That's not something I condone whatsoever. I have never gotten even close to using the word. I don't even feel comfortable when I listen to music with the word because it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'll just say that, okay? Now, she used the N-word not singing a song. She used the N-word speaking, which is mind-blowing to me. I don't understand how people, especially in that age range. Like, this is not old generations, not grandfathers that like don't understand better. This is young people. These are 20-year-olds. How do they not know what you can and can't say in terms of those words? Like, it's mind blowing to me. Got it. Now, she came out, I guess, a couple days ago, and she says that and what happens is, I guess they just wake you up in the middle of the night in the villa and they say, like, you're out of there. I have no idea. So she said that she told her followers, um, she says, I did not wake up in the middle of the night. They didn't get me in the effing morning. They didn't drag me out of bed. She said that they had breakfast in the morning. She was just starting to have fun, and then she was pulled out. She was asked to come to the front, thought it was for a confessional, but she was met by a producer who asked her to take off her mic. I honestly got scared. I thought something was happening with a family member or something. I didn't know what was going on. They didn't tell me anything. They just said, a video resurfaced on the internet. It's not looking too good. She said she had no idea what the video was about and just wanted to speak to her mom. And then she said when she realized what people had seen, Ulissa said, this was the first girl, by the way. This is not what just happened this weekend. But she said, I was like, F no. I can't believe people think I'm racist. I mean, I get it. I said a word that I should not have said, but man, I wish I never would have said that. It is what it is. I can't go back in time. I am sorry I said that word. She wrote on Instagram, first, I want to apologize for using a word I had no right in saying. Podcast clips from years ago have recently resurfaced. I want to address it directly. In those clips, I used a word I never should have used, a racial slur. I used it ignorantly, not fully understanding. Let me just see if I can find, hold on, Ulissa Instagram, just so you guys get a visual of what her... Yeah, I'll just show you guys her actual post so that you get a visual of it. Here it is. This was the actual post. I mean, owning my mistakes. She says, I was speaking casually in conversation, not thinking deeply or critically. It doesn't take away how wrong it was. I've changed a lot since then. Da, 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 da. There's also been fake statements. I want to clarify, this is my voice and my words. I don't need anyone to speak for me. I understand. I apologize to those who are disappointed or offended. I am sorry. Okay. Listen, this is the best thing you can do when you're caught doing something bad, right? There you go. I think she absolutely messed up. I think she shouldn't have ever thought it was okay to do it. This is the only thing you can do. Do you guys agree? There is absolutely no better way to handle a mistake. What else do people expect from someone when they make a mistake? Do you want to hang them in the town square? What do you want? What do people expect from this? I don't understand how people expect people to handle mistakes. I'm not standing up for her by any means for her actions. I think it's horrendous. I would never do it. I would lose my damn mind if my kids did it. But this is the only thing you can do. Like, there's nothing else you can do except take full accountability and apologize. You can't erase time. You can't go back and we can't, it's not total recall. This is literally all you can do. You can apologize and then the world can just move on. That's it. Now, the comments, of course, are horrendous. The first comment says, you're sorry because you got caught. Okay, maybe, but let's I just think that we need to, I don't know. I think for myself, she should have turned the comments off, in my opinion. Turn the comments off, say her piece and move and just be quiet now. That's how I would have done it. I would have just turned the comments off. I would have apologized and I would have just been quiet for 6 months. That's what I would have done. And then maybe, yes, maybe there's a way to, a comment here says she could donate funds to an African American fundraiser and educate herself. Yes, but people would say, oh, you're just doing that because it's very Blake Lively style. You're just doing that because. You're just doing that because. I don't know exactly what else people expect. You can't do anything but. What Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds did was stupid because they said we had no idea. We had no idea it was a slave plantation. It- you got married on a next to a slave dwelling. You acted you're lying. You're lying saying that she literally in her Instagram post says, "In those clips I used a word I never should have used. I used it ignorantly." Oh, I mean, I guess she's saying not fully understanding the weight, history, or pain behind it. I wasn't trying to be offensive, but I used it. I mean, I guess that's kind of like minimalizing it, but she's saying I used it. Okay, whatever. That's how I feel. She messed up. She whatever. She did what she can do. Now let's move on to the next one. Sierra Ortega. I don't watch the season, so I'm not up to speed if Sierra is someone that people like or they don't like. You guys tell me in the comments. Do you like her? Do you not like her? Now, Sierra Ortega, as far as I know, is, I think we only have one more week on the show. Don't really know a lot. But Sierra Ortega is coupled up with someone. She has a very, very popular, um, I think she's pretty popular on the show. And she has this racist post that gets kind of I don't know how it resurfaced because it was an Instagram story. And this is very confusing to me. How in the world did this resurface? This is the question. It was shared on, I only imagine that a friend probably had it saved somewhere and shared it. You guys tell me how it got shared. So this is what the story says. I don't condone any of this usage, but this is so popular, it's everywhere, so I'm going to share it, okay? So she says, Botox, this is before she was on the show, this was years ago. Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I am incredibly expressive with my face, and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I am focusing on something or thinking too hard. I can also be a little, and then she uses the word, and I guess I can't say it. I don't want to say it because I don't want to offend anyone. So I'm just going to say I can also be a little blank when I laugh, smile. So I love getting a mini brow lift to open up my eyes and get that snatched look. This is not me encouraging, but more so sharing. Okay. The word is something about Asian eyes. That's all I'll say. I did not know that people use this word. I had never heard this word being used in context in a slur way, but it is a word that offends people. You don't need to know if it is offensive to then be like um shocked that it is offensive. If you hear that people of a certain nationality, ethnicity, minority, or anyone is offended by something, here's what you do. I think you just hear them and accept it. If you're going to tell me if you are Asian, if you are Black, if you are Hispanic, if you are Catholic, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're anything, and you tell me this is a word that is offensive to my culture, to my religion, to my race, I can't tell you as someone that's not that. No, it's not. Who are we to say? Who are we to say if we're not that religion, race, ethnicity, nationality? We're not. And to tell people that are not that it's not offensive is prime gaslighting. So, this word, which I can't say what it is because I don't want to be responsible for ever offending anyone, but if you Google Sierra Ortega, you will see the word. And okay, here. Can I pull up? I'm going to pull up this comment because here she's saying it and she's Asian in the comments and she's telling me to say it. Okay. Here's the comments. I am Asian and this is the word. She's saying, and it rhymes with slinky and it's incredibly offensive. It is the equivalent of saying the N word. I didn't know that. I have never used the word. I didn't even know about the word, but guess what? I believe you. I believe you. Now, that shouldn't be so hard to understand for anyone. And Sierra uses this word, and people pick up and find this Instagram story. Now, the Instagram story picks up and starts to circle, right? Circulate, 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 circulate. And now I guess it starts to build steam. And the people on TikTok and Instagram are starting to really go, 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 go. Now, I don't know exactly what year, and maybe you guys can tell me when she said it. I don't know. Let's see if it says it in this article specifically when she said it. Um, I'll give you more details about when what has happened since the story went viral. But there's a reason that I'm talking about hypocrisy, and I'll give you guys just my own experience and what really, really upset me last night, and why I'm making a bigger deal out of it because I'm still not getting a response. Um, and I think it's important to talk about it. So I don't know exactly when the video was actually posted, but apparently she actually was told when she posted it on her Instagram stories from someone. She was DM'd something from a friend who said, "Hey, by the way, this is offensive. What you're writing here is offensive, and you should probably not say that." And she responds to the person and she says, "Oh, shoot, I had absolutely no idea." But then I guess she used the word again at some point. So there is something about it that is actually like she's aware of it and she did it again. Now that it's out there, it starts to go viral. Everyone starts posting about it, and then people start to go crazy. They start going into Ariana Maddox's comments and start posting to her and start saying, here, I'll show you guys on an Instagram post that I follow here. It's people are really getting mad at Ariana about it. They're saying, like, why aren't you saying anything? As if Ariana Maddox has any choice or anything, to do about it. But apparently Ariana is getting, hate about it. Hold on. Something along the lines here. I think that Ariana is getting a lot of flack because she's not actually. Here we go. It says the comment, this was 2 days ago. Someone commented on Ariana, who's the host, saying, just want to get this right. You can repost 17 videos in less than 24 hours, most of them about left-leaning views regarding immigrants and the big, beautiful bill, yet you're completely silent on what Sierra said. Interesting. And Ariana said, not silent. You don't know what you're talking about. And so XOXO Bravo girl here says, what are you guys thinking about this? I wonder what will happen. I went through Ariana's comments after seeing other accounts posting, and in particular, this comment. It seems the fans are coming at her. I don't know what I think. I'm kind of in the middle here. I kind of understand why people are upset at her, because if she wants to be vocal about all these things, she should probably be vocal about this. But on the other hand, she's probably not legally allowed to say anything. They said, this person says, I feel sick to my stomach for Sierra when she does come out of the villa, when she sees how disliked she is. She's lost over 100,000 followers in the past couple of days. She can't even defend herself, and she can't even apologize because she's still in the villa. So at this point, Sierra, this girl, is still in the villa. The whole world is starting to turn on her. She's losing hundreds of thousands of followers. Dozens and dozens and dozens are posting, of people are posting about her, saying these awful things. She has no chance to stand up for herself. She's apparently getting massive amounts of threats against her. And then we have people and now I'm just going to put it out there, okay? Then we have creators like Steph with Denise, okay? And she's really going off. She's really, really going off against Sierra. And there's probably about 10 to 12 videos about Sierra.
So no one talking about Sierra's racist posts. Makes a lot of sense that she's friends with Brooke Schofield, actually. A few months ago, Sierra had made this post and someone took a screenshot of it, and there's another post as well. And in it, she is using a racial slur. She writes, Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard, LOL. I can also be a little, I'm not going to say the word, you guys can read it because I really don't want to offend anyone, when I laugh or smile, so I love getting a mini brow lift to
1.
You know this Love Island season really sucks when most of the people to hit 1 million followers on TikTok are the islanders that are no longer in the villa. Bravo Brie included Ace in this post. However, Ace was already at 1 million followers before Love Island, so he doesn't really count. Without Ace in there, the only ones that are still in the villa that are on this list are Huda and Amaya. And we have Jeremiah, Hannah, and then we have Jalen. Love Island season 6 was like the opposite. The ones to like really grow were the ones that made it to the finale, the ones that people really loved and resonated with. This season is so messed up because the ones that are getting kicked out are ones with stronger connections. They're trying to explore and build stronger connections. So these are the people that people actually like and miss. And while we're on the topics of followers, after last night's episode, Amaya hit 1 million on TikTok and Huda had hit 1 million on IG. Huda was already at 1 million on here. Get this, guys. 5 days ago, someone posted this on the forums saying Sierra is now the most followed girl from season 7. She had surpassed Huda. And it was just the other day when Sierra's friend / social media handler was saying how Sierra's about to hit 1 million.
Saying, oh, Sierra's never going to talk to you again after she sees the way you write her Instagram. She's going to hate you. Oh my God, she's going to be so embarrassed. When she hits 1 million followers in the next 5 days, do you think she's going to feel embarrassed? Wait.
Sierra was nearly at 930,000 followers on IG. In the past 24 hours, she has lost over 100,000 followers. MJ was humbled real quick. But also, MJ saying that kind of just confirmed that Sierra isn't it just for the followers, the money, the
multiple videos.
I have a feeling Sierra will be leaving tonight.
Continues.
Sierra may still be on Love Island USA, but she is being canceled by her own friends publicly.
Continues.
This is for anyone still trying to defend Sierra. Sierra was made aware that the slur that she used was offensive and derogatory, but she didn't care.
Continues.
Tonight's Love Island USA first look has dropped, and if Sierra is still on my screen by the end of the episode, this will be my face. Breaking news and spoiler for episode 30 of Love Island USA. It definitely looks like Sierra is gone. I actually just started watching tonight's episode, but...
Okay. The reason why I'm posting this so much is because this creator, Steph, who I've talked about before on the show because she posts a lot about Blake and Ryan and Justin Baldoni, has used a very, very anti-Jewish slur before. And she did it about Love Island, and she did it before the Sierra drama. She did it very recently, actually. I didn't say anything publicly. I didn't say anything on the show. I didn't even say anything on Patreon until last week. It's been eating at me as someone that is Jewish, like beyond. And I wouldn't have said anything until I started realizing she made it her life's mission to cancel Sierra. She made it her life's mission to make sure that Sierra got attacked. She has 500 to 600,000 followers on TikTok and 100,000 followers on Instagram. When you have this much of a platform and this much of an influence, literally people are committing suicide after leaving Love Island. You have to be so careful with your words. It is a problem when Stephanie from Steph with the Deets goes on her Instagram and posts a video about a boy named Elon Bibas who happens to be Jewish and from Canada, not Israeli, not in Israel, maybe doesn't support the war, maybe doesn't have any thoughts on the war, but just happens to be Jewish, and yet you decide to call him a Zio. And
Let's
I'll
talk
show
about
you
the
the whole
Casa Boys and
video. It will come up in just a second, which is a slur for Jewish people. It's a racist, anti-Semitic slur. I have talked to many Jews about it. I have gotten this video sent to me hundreds of times. I've talked to advocates for Jews about it. I've talked to non-Jews about it. The comments on this video are aplenty. This was weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. This has happened. This has been swirling in my mind for 2 weeks. I have been so hurt by this. I have reached out to her in DMs. I have commented on it. I have commented again, please check your DMs, Steph. I want to talk to you, Steph. I have asked her. She cannot claim that she doesn't know that this is offensive. She is literally doing exactly what she is claiming that Sierra did. So I don't understand the hypocrisy. If you are saying that this girl should get her life completely taken away from her whole life canceled from her for saying something very offensive in an Instagram story, if someone who is that minority can tell you this is offensive to my people, you have to believe them. Done. No questioning it. No wondering it. No thinking it. No saying, no, it's not. I'm telling you it is. You guys can hear it for yourselves.
certainly least sorry in my eyes would be Elon Bibas. He apparently is a Zio. Some people are saying he's even an IDF soldier. I don't know where they've seen that, but I've seen that multiple places being written. Follows stand with us. Some people may be like, no, maybe it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. This is a pretty big deal. If he is a Zio and he is in a villa with Huda, who is a Palestinian woman who has stood up for Palestine, I don't want him to be coupled up with anyone, basically. He doesn't need to come back to the villa. Bringing him in almost seems intentional by the casting team. Casting team cannot be this bad at their jobs. Casting a Palestinian woman from the beginning and then bringing in a Zio midway through, that's not the right call. And let's not forget that, like, Shelly.
It's not okay. And she owes the whole entire Jewish community a massive apology. It's not okay. So Elsie's here. What are you saying? This is a Blake Lively. Motion to compel Van Zandt granted in part, denied in part. What? Let's see what the update is. Hold on. Judge Lyman grants the motion to compel Van Zandt. Okay, we needed some good news. Finally. Finally. All right. Let's pull this up. Let's move on to some Blake Lively. And talking about something else that we could get triggered by, this bullshit Blake Lively article. Everyone take a deep breath. But this is good news, Elsie. Thank you so much for bringing in the good news. Let's pull this article or this tweet by Leanne up. It is present, share screen, X. Leanne is who I follow from all my legal quick updates. Judge Lyman grants the motion to compel Van Zandt, granted for the communications between Van Zandt and Jones Works that led to the subpoena. The rest of the request was denied as it is moot due to Van Zandt confirming that they will comply. Oh, okay, meaning we'll get it all. Let's read. It says, defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Jennifer Abel moves pursuant to federal rule of civil for an order compelling the production of documents from non-party Van Zandt in response to requests Specifically, Abel moves to compel production of the following: a copy of Van Zandt's subpoena served on plaintiff and counterclaim defendant Stephanie Jones in the Van Zandt action, the documents produced by Jones in response to the Van Zandt subpoena, communications between Van Zandt and Jones about the Van Zandt action, documents sufficient to show Van Zandt's organizational structure, documents sufficient to identify Van Zandt's shareholders, and Van Zandt has agreed to produce documents responsive to those requests. Request 9 calls for communications between Van Zandt and its counsel and Jones and their counsel concerning the Van Zandt lawsuit. This is awesome, you guys. So we'll get some more information. Abel argues that the documents are relevant because they go to whether Jones and Lively conspired to obtain her stolen information and sued the sham Van Zandt lawsuit to provide a veneer of legitimacy for Jones' transfer of stolen information to Lively, and whether Jones provided data taken from Abel's stolen phone to Lively before service of the subpoena. Van Zandt argued that the documents are not relevant because Abel's claims arise from Jones obtaining Abel's cell phone when she was terminated, which took place weeks before the Van Zandt action was initiated. But it doesn't matter. They allowed it. Finally, Lyman gives us something good. Finally. We needed it. We needed it. This is great. Okay, good news. Enough. We need justice in this land. I'm sorry. I feel like I can't. And I just can't handle how it's feeling like, you know, this weekend has felt, well, this last week, I feel like this last week with these, the Blake Lively supporters feeling just like they're walking on air, like we have won the situation. And I got so irritated by their stance that Justin Baldoni being spotted at Disney World. God forbid the man leaves Hawaii and walks around public locations and gets spotted by fans. He's all of a sudden they're calling it staged pap walks because he's getting spotted by fans, as if Blake Lively isn't the biggest stage walk, like beyond. Literally, everything she does is a staged pap walk, i.e. when she went walking through Park Avenue to go to Anna Wintour's house. Do you guys remember that? Where they get out of a car and then walk 4 houses to Anna Wintour's house in their matching outfits, she and Ryan Reynolds, or with their stroller. Are you kidding me? It's so obnoxious. So these kinds of people make me so mad. So give us a little win. Just give us a little something. And I still feel real confident. I still feel real confident that something good is around the corner. I feel good and confident that something good will happen. Now, I will tell you this article that came out today by this Kat Tenbarge. Now, Kat Tenbarge, if you guys don't remember who Kat Tenbarge is, you guys remember when I showed you that video with Taylor Lorenz that made us crazy? Let me try to see if I can find just a little piece of it. It was so obnoxious. It was Taylor Lorenz and I can't remember the other person that was on it. Oh my God. How in the world? I mean, this is not it, but I just found a video. I don't know what it is, but it says, Dear Taylor Lorenz and Kat Tenbarge, co-parter. That's my favorite video already. I don't know what it is, but they are so obnoxious, these two girls. But it was the two of them. Maybe one of you guys will remember what it was called, but it was literally about this. It was the two of them, and it was one other person about this article. It was about this okie dokie misogyny slop drama. And I can't handle this kind of conversation. I really, truly cannot handle this person, Kat Tembarge and the way she writes and what she talks about and essentially what she's talking about in this article. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. I know it's a paid article. I'm not going to pay for it. Just Justin Baldoni, my friend Justin Baldoni. Zach Peter sent it to me. He screen recorded it, so I don't have to pay for it. Zach Peter sent it to me, and if I refuse to pay for New York Post or New York Times, I will never pay for it. But he sent it to me, and in the article, they call us gossip mongers. It's so obnoxious, I can't even tell you. It's Blake Lively versus the misogyny slop ecosystem is what they call it. They call us gossip mongers. God forbid we just expose the truth about Blake Lively. They call us gossip mongers. They call us that we're just against women. As if we're not sitting here and trying to fight for Karen Reed, right? We are just against women, that we're gossip mongers, and that it's poor little Blake Lively. Poor little Amber Heard and Blake Lively, these two poor women. I am still waiting, by the way, still waiting. Where's Blake Lively, and why isn't she standing up for the woman that's going up against Kevin Costner? Where is she? What about Blake Lively standing up for the women of Hollywood who are getting sexually harassed on sets? I will not rest until Blake Lively stands up against those women. Stands up for those women. I want to see her protesting outside the court and standing up for the women who are going against Kevin Costner. Those are the women that need Blake Lively's voice. Why isn't she creating some sort of, pink hat protest? Where is she? I want to know, has she called that woman? I can't remember her name, Heather McDonald's niece. Do you know that? Heather McDonald's niece. If you guys don't remember, there is a woman, and now it's escaping my name, but I'm going to find it really fast. It was stuff with the G's. Kevin Costner lawsuit. That is suing Kevin Costner and the stunt double, Devin LaBella. Devin LaBella is currently suing Kevin Costner for sexual harassment because he directed the movie that she was on, Horizon 3. And I don't understand why Blake Lively isn't holding Devin's hand. Devin needs Blake Lively right now. I am literally going to go online today. I'm going to create a TikTok. I want it to go viral. Everyone here needs to share it to their platforms immediately. Devin needs Blake Lively, where are you? And actually, Kat Tembarge, Blake Lively needs you to tell her. I think that Blake Lively is not standing for women right now. And I'm feeling really, really sad for Devin, because Devin LaBella needs Blake Lively to stand by her. Where is Blake? Is she busy? What is she doing? Is she too busy for the stunt double and the stand-in that needs her in Hollywood? Or is she just hoping to get an invite to Kevin Costner's Aspen house? Why is she too busy? Oh, I see. Because Blake Lively's full of shit. Yeah. I wonder if Devin LaBella is feeling a little bit left out of the, standing for all women. Is it standing for all women only of a certain caliber, or does that include below the line people too? Just curious. I find her to be the biggest piece of shit. Sorry. And we can say alleged, or we can just say it's just my opinion. And this BS article by Kat Tembarge is crazy town. And actually, let's see a couple of other things that are important in this. It goes on and on about this, you would think that Blake Lively, even though her case is winning right now, even though Justin Baldoni has his case dismissed, you would think that Blake Lively is losing. Public figures who speak up now can face retaliation. So on and so forth. Of course, the feminist YouTuber who goes by Ofi Doki calls this the misogyny slop ecosystem, in which pop culture sleuths on TikTok and Reddit, gossip hounds like Perez Hilton and even Kirsty Flaw, pump out weekly or even daily anti-lively content that nets millions of views. Their theories often wind up in outlets like the Daily Mail. We're in a culture that rewards misogynistic thinking that is baked into everybody. The thing that makes it an ecosystem is the amount of bits and pieces that they're recycling and repeating from each other. Even if there is no new update to the case, these drama mongers. Should I change my name here on Daily Dose of Donna to Daily Dose of Drama Monger? Collectively offer an endless slew of takedown and speculation, keeping their audiences hooked. The ecosystem has become effectively an essential tool for defending men accused of sexual violence or harassment. It can generate a rabid kind of fandom that's hell-bent on defending them. Wall-to-wall content by their army of supporters may help them in the courtroom, and more important, creates an atmosphere of doubt about their alleged culpability that permeates public opinion. It's beyond. And of course, it says some of Miss Heard and Miss Lively's supporters accuse Mr. Depp and Mr. Baldoni of following a playbook called Darvo. Yep, it's Darvo. That's my name, DDM. Don't wear it out. The global assault on Miss Heard's credibility from many corners of the internet was an example of collective Darvo. The rhetoric made popular become part of the way people talk about claims of abuse. One that has carried into Miss Lively's case and beyond. Now, the way social media can discredit accusers in celebrity cases has begun to trickle down to relatively unknown ones. Men without pre-existing platforms can film videos of women at their lowest and post that unflattering footage online, where it can go viral overnight. The women are often compared to Miss Heard, and the videos of them can become fodder for so-called men's rights activists who already make content attacking celebrity women. Some of them are more than happy to give wide attention to a narrative or against a private figure, usually a woman that accuses her of lying and being abusive herself. All this is possible because many Americans have aggressively rejected the gains. I mean, what is she talking about? Almost a decade later, his and Mr. Baldoni's crisis management expert, Melissa Nathan, who is accused in Miss Lively's lawsuit of helping to orchestrate the media attacks on her, marveled over how quickly social media has turned on the actress. It's actually sad because it just shows you have people really want to hate on women. Yeah, I guess they do. Now, when Kirsty Flaw posted this today on her stories on her Instagram feed, Andy Signor actually commented, and he said this woman, Kat Tenbarge, the woman who wrote it, he goes, "Oh my God, she did this during the Depp trial. She monetized on rage bait. She actually interviewed me for an early article." This is Popcorn Planet, the guy who got subpoenaed just last week from Blake Lively. "She actually interviewed me for an early article and admitted Amber was wrong on tape. We both recorded the call. Later, as she lied in the press and kept defending her, I exposed her and released the tapes. She then falsely said I edited them and then spent months writing a defamatory hit piece on me for NBC, only interviewing legit psychopaths that hated me. Needless to say, NBC recently fired her whole useless department. Now she's desperate again for clicks. Don't take the bait." Why is New York Times doing this? Has New York Times not learned? Why? Okay. So let's move on from the Blake Lively drama and just finish up with an update from Karen Reed. We have a big update with the Karen Reed story. Before we go into it, my second amazing sponsor this week is Wayfair. I am so excited about Wayfair because Wayfair is all about furnishing your backyard If you guys have noticed, my stories this week have been all about my backyard. I've been spending every single waking hour in my backyard. I love entertaining in the summertime. I love having people over to enjoy the warm weather. I have a pool. I love having people over to cook and have in my pool. And the thing is, with Wayfair's fast and easy shipping, it's never been easier to get ready to party. So however you kick out back, go to Wayfair for effortless entertaining and game-filled gatherings. There's outdoor seatings for gatherings, outdoor recreation, outdoor dining for entertaining and quality family time, outdoor decor to set the scene. They have a huge selection of outdoor items to make it easy to find exactly what's right for you. I just this morning bought an outdoor umbrella with solar lights so that you can light up our little seating area. I'll show you guys on my stories a little bit later. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your summer home goals with an endless inspiration for every space and budget, including the outdoors. Free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. Find all your outdoor must-haves from seating to garden trellises to pool lounges to trampolines, all in one convenient place. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to explore a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right. So Alan Jackson was on, Wayfair, not to be confused with Wayfair. I thought about that too. Okay. So Alan Jackson was on Turtle Boy on Saturday night. And let me tell you, I'm in love. I mean, that man, was he not so hot? Did you guys see? Woo! Woo! What a hottie. He was so damn cute on that show. I'll show you guys just like a couple minutes of it because it was a game changer. It was so, number one, he spent an entire hour with him, which I thought was phenomenal. It was like such a nice move of him to do, to spend so much time with Turtle Boy. He spent a lot of time with him. He got to talk to him. He really got to, shoot the shit with him. A lot of people thought there was like all this drama between him and Turtle Boy. There's not. They really, really connected. He was so appreciative of Turtle Boy. He was like, you are such a big part of this Karen Reed movement. We wouldn't have known about it if not for you. Like, really, truly, you're a huge part of it. Never think you're not. It was really an incredible interview. He also said some really unbelievable things. He said that, why is it like not loading? Like, YouTube, get your ish together. What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? Hot stuff? Someone name the movie. What's happening? Hot stuff. I'll let it load. I don't know why my YouTube is like struggling to load. So it was such a good interview. And like Alan Jackson was just in his backyard here in Los Angeles. 16 candles. You got it, Michael. Michael for the win. What's happening? Hot stuff. Long duck dong. I mean, that's racist, actually, now that I think about it. It feels like every movie in the 80s was totally inappropriate and racist. Speaking of this weekend on my Instagram stories, I was highlighting My Father the Hero. That's a movie from 1994, which was like the best movie ever with Katherine Heigl and Gerard Depardieu, who's like totally a sexual predator. But in that movie, best movie ever, so good. But also, like, they were pretending to date and she was 16 and he was her dad. And it's totally inappropriate, but it was the best movie ever. Oh my God. Such a good movie. Okay. So Long Duck Dong. Back to this. So Alan Jackson was on Turtle Boy's interview, and he was talking about the fact that every single thing Karen Reed did throughout all her media appearances, throughout every time she talked to the press, it was all intentional. He said she never went rogue. I thought that was so interesting. Why isn't my YouTube loading? Is anyone else having a hard time? Obviously, you guys aren't because you're watching me. Let me see if it's just his or it's everyone's. No, it's not. It's his. It's just his. Let me get to it. Hold on. It's like just his. So weird. Okay. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, he talked about so many things. He was so amazing. And then what happens is Josh, we have a whole deal for Dosers Live. If you guys are coming, if you're looking at hotels, by the way, go to dailydosepod.com/doserslive. It's on August 23rd, and we have a whole deal for hotels. You can send an email to hello@donnabowling.com if you want more information. We have a block of hotels reserved. So much. It's so exciting. You had issues trying to watch it yesterday too. Yeah, they're putting up issues. I'll try to find some clips on Instagram then. I know that he put clips on Instagram. But anyway, so Turtle Boy spoke to Alan Jackson, and they said so many things. They said that there's all these things that are still in the works. He's like, I am not getting rid of Karen Reed as my client. He also said that Karen Reed's going through like a big kind of moment of almost like a letdown right now, like a come down. He is struggling, and she's struggling a little bit because can you imagine for 3 to 4 years, you're like fighting against all these people, and now all of a sudden you're safe. She still has a civil case, but it's not the same, and you would go through a lot. Here's a couple clips.
Had a situation where you've had an adrenaline, you're just pumped with adrenaline. And the after effect of the adrenaline is I just gotta come down. Now think about that. Normally the adrenaline is, you're about to have an argument with someone that you love or care about. You're in a bar and someone looks at you funny and the adrenaline goes through the roof, and then you've got this come down. Or it's an incredibly exciting event and you have this come down. Now multiply every single day of your life, every day, relentlessly, every day, with Tully and Buchanan and Proctor and Michael Morrissey and Lally and Brent. Every single day you're dealing with people who believe they're being paid to destroy you. Now expand that to 3.5 years. 3.5 years every day, 365 days a year for 3.5 years, over 1,000 days of that. And then it's like, bam, it's just done. She won. It's over. Have you ever?
It's so true. Like I would also, I'm sure, I always kind of think it's probably a little bit like summer camp. If you think about that feeling when you're at summer camp, and even though she had a horrendous experience, it's still that feeling like you come home and you're depressed. Even though it was a horrendous experience, there must have been a little bit of a feeling of just sadness after it's over. Here.
Once we talked it out, it was my determination that it was not in our best interest to call Michael Proctor.
By not calling him, and I said this on my show, I go, this is the ballsiest decision ever, because if this woman is convicted of anything,
I gotta own it.
Then you not only got to own it, that's going to go down as the worst call ever. Like you're Grady Little, like level, like keeping Pedro in the game, like that. That's what that would go down as. Didn't that make you freaking nervous?
I say this a lot, and it sounds really self-aggrandizing. I don't get nervous. I make people nervous. I make decisions because they're the right decisions, and it comes from 30+ years of decision making. And at some point, you got to have the balls to make the call. You got to make the call. I knew.
You have to have the balls to make the call. I don't get nervous. I make people nervous. Damn. Oh, so hot. Is that not the hottest thing? I mean, guys, he is so hot. Okay, hold on. There is another couple posts about Judge Cannoni.
Do you think, you've been doing this a long time, do you think she's one of the small percentage of judges who would not allow that to be mentioned? Or do you think if you had any other judge, do you think that judge would have done the same thing she did? Or do you think they would have allowed FBI to be mentioned?
My experience is that I think every other judge I've ever been in front of in my life, every other judge. And there are those probably number not in the hundreds, but in the thousands. Every other judge would allow that in.
Really? Every other wow.
Every other judge would allow that in. Every one of us on the defense team, in the first trial and the second, were gobsmacked that she would not allow in even a modicum of information. We can't go into what the investigation consists of. We didn't want to know who the investigators were. We didn't care if it was the DOJ or the FBI, whatever. Just to be able to say the federal government opened an investigation, and this is what they hired ARCA, and ARCA worked for and was commissioned by the federal government, and this is what they found. Period. That does not in any way, shape, form, or fashion prejudice the Commonwealth. It never would have, but the Commonwealth was so adamant that if that was known, it would be it would allow such inherent credibility to be gleaned about ARCA. She wouldn't allow it to happen.
Do you think, you've been doing this a long time?
It's a really, really amazing interview. So when it does load, you guys have to watch it. I can't believe that you guys have to watch it. Let's move on and show you guys this article. Vanity Fair, whatever deal they're doing right now, Vanity Fair is in with Karen Read, because look at this. This is unbelievable, this article. It just came out today. Karen Read's defense attorney talks. We brought to light some very uncomfortable realities. It came out July 7th today. Look at this picture, Alan Jackson, and it's all about the verdict. It says, when Alan Jackson walked into the Dedham, Massachusetts courtroom weeks ago to learn the verdict of Karen Read's second murder trial, he was supremely confident his client would be cleared of all the major charges against her. See, this guy, he's like, I knew. He says it was not going to be guilty. It just couldn't be, he said. He knew it wasn't going to be. It says that Karen Read spent her entire life savings, including the sale of her home. Some of the lawyers worked pro bono. Jackson estimates that his firm alone, where Liza Little as a partner, would have billed $10 million for both trials. You guys, $10 million. $10 million. Got it? That's wild. I can't explain how expensive that is. I'm freaking out over that. So it talks about the fact that, how they got to know each other and all of that. And then one of the moments that really kind of stood out here, hold on, is, let me pull it up really fast. It says, when he's talking to Buchanan, hold on. Well, he says cross-examinations are Jackson's favorite part of a trial. I want the jurors looking at me to see the look on my face, my body language. I want them to listen to the tone of my voice and then turn back around and watch how the witness reacts. That's the fun of a trial. A good sold cross-examination, and it requires an enormous amount of preparation. Every single question I ask is highly scripted because I'm building to something else. It's like a symphony. It's a beautiful thing to execute. Oh, I mean, seriously, it makes you kind of want to be a lawyer, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Like, it really does. Now, I'm going to get into Buchanan because this is really interesting. He says Jackson gauges juror reactions in real time to inform his cross strategy. You have to earn certain things from the jurors. The jurors have to want you to scream at a witness before you scream at a witness. They have to want you to laugh and be sarcastic with a witness before you laugh and are sarcastic with a witness. While cross-examining Massachusetts State Police Trooper Yuri Buchanan, we call him Bukaki, Jackson stepped away from the podium to grab a document while Buchanan was answering. Are you listening? Asked Buchanan. You asked the question. I wanted to answer. Jackson retorted. I know the answers to all of my questions. The jurors all chuckled, said Jackson, and I just struck a stake through his heart. You have to be really comfortable in your own skin to be able to have an argument and know that you're going to win it in front of the jury and national television too. Now it continues to go on and on about Jackson, but this reminds me, it's a great article. You guys should read it. I'll do a little thing on TikTok for it in a bit. But this is really interesting because you guys, did you hear the news? Buchanan, he is transferred out of Norfolk County, which is a big deal. That's exciting. So Buchanan, who is the piece of shit, he was right under Proctor, and he was one of the guys that was part of the text messages. He was the guy that was reading a lot of the text messages between Higgins. He was the guy that had to read the Higgins, Karen Reed text messages on trial this year, that he was like, you gave me the ghost. You're hot. You know, all of that. He, according to everyone, it's confirmed, according to Howie Carr and everyone, it says Yuri Buchanan is out at the Norfolk County DA's office as of yesterday. State police confirmed this AM that he's been transferred to South Boston. He should have. So Michael Proctor is fired. Brian Tully, who's also an asshole, is reassigned. And now Yuri Buchanan is also reassigned. Unfortunately, they should all be fired. They're all horrendous people that should not have any job in law enforcement whatsoever. And then I heard that Kelly Deaver is also, that she was the horrendous witness, remember, that had the big attitude. But I heard that that she's also on a leave of absence. But it's really crazy. Oh my God, you guys, I'm on a group chat with Addie from DJ Hungry Human from TikTok. She was a guest last week, and Bobby Sauce, Take Naps on Instagram and TikTok. We're on a group chat, and our group chat is called Canton Summer House. And we're all talking about Paul O'Keefe, and now we're talking about Brian Walsh, and we're talking about Yuri Buchanan, and we're talking about Turtle Boy and everything. And Bobby Sauce goes, sounds like Canton Summer House gang needs to get on the case. Like, we're going to get a house in Canton, and we're going to create content. Wouldn't that be the funniest thing if we all went there and literally created content from a summer house in Canton? How funny would that be? Like real world Canton style? So Turtle Boy went to court this morning. That's also an update. Turtle Boy went to court this morning for his hearing. Remember, we talked about it on my show last week. And Jessica Machado, I was listening to it on Melanie Little's show this morning, but Jessica Machado was in the courtroom actually there. And she was posting about it. It was wild to listen to it. The judge, so different than what we were all listening to when it came to, freaking Canoni. But the judge was laughing. He was like having so much fun. But apparently it sounded like it wasn't that big of a deal. He was in a really, really good mood. He sounded very, happy. It was all about witness intimidation. They were just basically saying that they just, needed some more time, and that they just wanted some requests for discovery. And they were talking about text messages between Michael Proctor and about, I think they were talking about the text messages between Jen McCabe, et cetera. And they were talking about some other people on Twitter and their connections to the case. And essentially, now there's another court case on August 13th. I think that they just need to dismiss the case against Turtle Boy. It doesn't feel any like they just got to drop it. Just got to drop it. The judge seemed like it didn't really matter to him. I don't know. Okay, you guys, that was a super long episode, but I absolutely I got to drop it. We got to end it. Like, we could be here all day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the show. Thank you for hearing my rants. Thank you for hearing and supporting my rants. I got really, really upset over the hypocrisy. I think that, in reality, and I see your comments, I see some comments, some people don't agree with me and some people do agree with me or agree with my thoughts on everything. But I think when it comes to the fact of just going back to that Love Island story earlier, you can't pick and choose what is upsetting. You can't pick and choose what is upsetting when it comes to people's taking offense to racial or religious or ethnic or whatever it is. If you're going to say that's offensive but this isn't, that's not cool. You either say it is or it isn't. You can't pick and choose which race or which ethnicity or which religion is offensive. It is either is or it isn't. But if you're going to make your platform all about canceling people, which this person that I was talking about is, if that's your platform to cancel everyone under the sun that says anything wrong, well, then you best be, perfect and never say anything that would hurt anyone's feelings. That's it. That's what it should come down to. And if someone tells you you're hurting many people's feelings with these words, you should probably acknowledge it. That's all I can say. And she's hurting a lot of people's feelings, including mine. I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.